All right, I got a list. I guess I can give you. You have admin access to our Instantly account. I'm sure you're super busy and haven't had a chance to go through it, but um, I guess I'll give you a summary of where we've been the last couple of weeks. Share. I just share my whole screen. I got here of stuff that's like. Can you see that?
Yeah, I was saying that. Yep, I see everything perfectly.
Okay, cool. So, all right, we have increased our sending volume. We did figure out the BounceBan leads. We just aren't doing it through Clay yet. Like I just kind of manually doing it. I've just, take them out of Outscraper, put them into BounceBan. Um, and we are doing well. Let me go look. Month to date, our analytics, we're at an 11% reply rate. Sometimes we jump all the way up to like 12 or 13%. Um, I did purchase about a month ago some of those Azure accounts from Ken, just because they were so cheap and I kind of just wanted to test them. And he's probably a good sales guy and I'm an easy sale, so there was that. So, but I think I purchased about 400 Azure accounts, and I think it was only like $400 a month. They definitely have a lower reply rate than our other campaigns. So like you can see here, all of our other campaigns are 12, 13, 13, 10.8. This one's 2.4. That's those Azure, that's the Azure accounts. However, they're emailing only to others in Zoho. So all of these campaigns that have names Haley, Leon, Michael, Miriam, and Raquel, these are salespeople we have here in our office, and they are sending just to Gmail accounts only. So I literally just manually cleaned it instead of doing ESP routing. I just threw Gmails in their campaigns, as you can see. Um, and then in the overflow, which is the Azure accounts, these are emailing everything that's not Gmail and not Outlook. We literally just threw the Outlook emails away because they suck. Like I can't do anything with them. They suck. Um, I tried with the Azure accounts. I tried with the Gmail accounts. I tried like doing what Ken said and just make it like a 1 or 2 sentence template, like just like, hey, do you guys want to do an ad at the gym down the street? And occasionally we get an email back, but we were just kind of wasting time. So these seem to be doing okay now, and we're starting to see the reply rate come back up. It's at 2.4% now. So yeah, I guess it is coming up a little bit. But other than that, oh, I had all of those campaigns. I had about 40 campaigns. I got it down to each sales rep has their own campaign. And the way I did it was I would make a spreadsheet. I wonder if I can show if I have one available that has my locations on it. Let's see if I can find one. Oops. Um, where are they at? EMS new rebuild. Here we go. Let's see if I can show you one of these. Yes. So here we go. I just made like these spreadsheets and I would just put the closest location we had to it, connected to the lead. So if they were in San Antonio, it would say, "Hey, I work with the Anytime Fitness gym." It says Anytime Fitness right here, gym on Huebner Road, and that way it's constantly like rotating, and there's no like fingerprint in the email because it's constantly these are changing, um, the location name, all of that's changing, so it doesn't have like that big block like you told me is creating a fingerprint in there. We're getting about 90% of our sales are coming through just pure email. We're getting another 5% through text message and then 5% through phone call, maybe more. Every day, the emails are generating inbound phone calls because we have a little thing that says, like at the bottom of the signatures, it says, hold on, I don't know why it does that. It always picks an email that is like one of the ones we're not using. Oh. So it'll say call, text, or email. And that little line at the bottom of the signature, I think is really helping a lot. I think it's creating a lot of trust. And then they're just like literally calling us, texting us, or emailing us back. And we're closing about, I don't know, we did $7,000 yesterday. So, but we're probably averaging about 4 a day right now, which is, we're doing good. But we do want to scale it up and we're sending more emails than we have been. So, like, if we go look at just today, we're at 3,300 today. and we're still sending some. These Azure accounts, they send a lot slower because there's so many email addresses connected to the domain that they like space them out a lot more. And other than that, I think that's a complete summary of what we've been working on for the last couple of weeks.
Well, where are you thinking about scaling? So, like, I don't know. How candid do you want me to be?
Open it
Completely?
as candid as possible.
Okay, stop buying Microsoft bullshit. It's all bullshit.
No
It's
more
total
Azure
bullshit.
accounts.
Yeah, it's
I
total
won't.
bullshit.
I won't buy them
Yeah.
anymore.
Your audience, here's something that you have that nobody else has is you have a killer product that people want to buy. And your lane is anybody with a Gmail, because that's where most small businesses lie, right?
Okay.
So I can tell you the quickest way you can scale this and make a shitload of money is don't get caught up on all the complexities of email deliverability and domains and who's the best sales provider. That's the difference between me and Ken is I will tell you how to make money and not get lost in the nuances of all this.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't I don't know Ken, so I'm not going to speak any more about that, but I'm just going to tell you like the ROI is clear for you, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you know how to make you like you figured out how to make this work without any of us, right? And
Well, you've helped quite a bit.
but I know, but I mean, it's like you're intuitive. You know how to run a business. You know how to make money. You know how to devise a process that you don't even have to pick up the phone. But I'm gonna tell you, like, I don't know if I've told you this before, but I have a client, and have I told you about my client in Germany?
You showed me some of his campaigns where he's got the
Yeah,
19% bounce rate.
yeah, and yours is. I haven't looked lately, but last time I looked, yours is pretty bad too.
No, no, no. Our bounce rates,
Oh, it's getting better. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
no, we're at 1 to 2% on all of our Gmail only campaigns, which is almost all we're sending. We haven't gone over 2%. Let's check this one real quick because this is the Azure accounts. 3%. That's
yeah.
our
Okay.
worst bounce rate is 3%.
Like, let me ask you this. Do you think that there is enough audience for you that just have Gmail addresses? Because, like, I can see the ESPs here, other Yahoo, la, la, la. Like, pure Gmail.
I hope
Do you,
so.
okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
hope so. I've got a total of about 50,000 Gmails. I just finished, for the most part, scraping the rest of Texas on Outscraper. And I have another probably 30,000 Gmails. So I'm assuming I've gotten about 80,000 Gmail accounts from Outscraper. However, I think there's more. I think PandaMatch and like the waterfall system is how I'm going to end up getting the rest of the Gmail accounts. And that's what I've been thinking about too. We are getting sales now out of this new campaign because I just took the outlooks out a couple of days ago and sales are starting to flow in here. In fact, I can show you so this is all of the um this is the Unibox just for that campaign. These are Azure accounts sending to like the others, and we're getting sales out of here. Not as many as we are obviously as our Gmail, but we are getting quite a few sales out of here. So should we focus on our Gmails? Probably. But I think there's still some sales in here too to be made.
but let's make those sales after you've absolutely maximized your potential of Gmail. That's what
Okay.
I, so think about it like technically, right? It's like if you are Google and you are sending to Google, don't you think that trust factor is just so much higher than
Yeah.
some dude's Azure account sending to Zoho?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where it's like, I mean, you know me well enough now where it's like, it's let's let's get you to the place where you're just like boom, 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 automatic from lead gen verification, automatic from infrastructure. But like it's so easy to overcomplicate this when you have a great offer. And if we can just align your email infrastructure to your outbound email receiving, which we can literally do in one API call, then you're just going to see better results because you're going to be building, technically speaking, nothing but trust. Because there's that the only factor working against you is different infrastructure trying to send to
Mhm.
different infrastructure because you already have something that almost no one can get, which is 8 to 10% reply rates. And
Yeah.
that is the number one thing in deliverability. And that's why I was talking about the German guy. It doesn't matter how bad your copy is. It doesn't matter how bad your bounce rate is. If you're getting 7, 8, 10% reply rates, you're almost never going to burn an email account and you're almost never
Really?
going, yeah, it's crazy. Like,
I don't have inbox placement set up yet, so I was going to ask you about that. I'm only sending 8 emails a day. Like if I and I retagged all my accounts finally too. So like if I click one of these open, so like these only sent 7 emails today. That's all they're sending is like 7 or 8 per day.
and that's great. Like, it's one of those where it's like maybe push it up a few
Okay.
and test it. But like, the realm of it is like, if it ain't
Mm,
broke, don't fix it. So,
yeah.
I mean, let me ask you this. Is this a highly profitable venture for you at this point?
We're making money. We spent a lot of money. Okay, so one of the things we knew was that once we started selling all of these ads, the actual infrastructure costs of being able to keep up with them, like making all the ads and sending them out, was going to be expensive, and we want to scale it faster. So what we did is this month, throughout the entire month of February, my wife and I started setting up the office and setting up the infrastructure and getting it in place so we can scale. So right now we have the team in place that can handle double the sales. And so it cost a little bit of money. We spent some money this month, like quite a bit. But going into March, now everything's in place where we're ready to scale up. We're installing new TVs like crazy right now. And we're getting ready. I think, to be honest, Josh, I think what we're gonna do is I think we're going to go put probably 15 TV screens in New York City where you have that really high population density. And that means I can have
Yeah.
tons of leads and just like build out like a crazy email system out in New York City as well. So, but we've been adding a lot in Texas. We're finishing up all the little cities we don't have. We need to get Corpus Christi, and we have some stuff in San Antonio, Tyler, that we still need to finish. But we're putting a lot of money into new screens because that gives us new territories we can email into. This is one of those things where like it is tricky because like in Houston, these are all gyms. These yellow ones are like these are men's they're like men's testosterone clinics. The red are restaurants. That's a Dickie's barbecue. So the email templates are changing based on location, and this is something I'm still not 100% sure how to like automate. Because as of right now, what I'm doing is I'm just doing it in a CSV. So if the lead is in San Antonio, I'm sending them a list to say, hey, do you want to advertise at this Anytime Fitness gym? But now that we're signing up more stuff, I've got this really cool coffee shop down the street, and I want to send emails to the same people saying, like, hey, do you want to advertise at the coffee shop? Because I feel like we're going to get the same exact reply rate that we're getting from San Antonio, like on our gym, right? And that's where I'm kind of struggling. Also, we've increased our volume now, so we're sending 4,000 emails a day. So it's 20,000 a week. It's 80,000 a month too. And I was like, shoot, Josh charges more for that next too. So
Well, and I think part of it is okay, so let's address that, right? Like, you know, we could take it where it's like, uh we could also do something where you pay the infrastructure costs and we just run the campaign and manage the copy, all of the things that you have to do besides just buying infrastructure, right?
yeah.
The other way is we could get more serious about this consulting and just say, look, we're going to meet 2 times a week and or 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, or Friday for an hour, and we're going to work on everything all the time. It's because I think what you're going to find, and if you're not already finding it, is that this shit's hard, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a
and
lot of work.
and you could go out and get a lot of information, but it's all conflicting too,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's part of the problem. And the other aspect of it is there's some technical capabilities and skills that it takes to be able to do like what you were saying with the mapping. But there's techniques you can use to be like, hey, you know, dynamically within clay tables where you can reference, you know, even with geocoding, like within this area, like I can build a prompt that calls Google Maps' API and then cross references it to your existing customers and then dynamically populates the email to every time reference the same customers you already have with TV screens or in a zip code or in a, you know what I mean? Which is
Yeah.
highly technical
Yeah, as I say,
I
that
mean,
sounds like a nightmare to code. Like that sounds like it's so
no,
far
but
beyond my
you
capabilities.
do it once and then it's a killer. Like the best example I can give you of this is that I run a campaign for PR agencies, and they wanted to make the argument to people in a cold email that they should buy their services because when you Google their name, like let's just say you Google my name, content marketing media. Now, for us, this is not the case, but for a lot of, especially small, mid-sized businesses, you Google their name and they're always first, like their name is first, but then you see 9 of their competitors right underneath them. Does that make sense? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like you see Apple, but then the next one is Google. And so the argument we were making and the selling proposition is we know how to make sure that you're first if you Google your name all 10 times. So when someone looks you up, they don't see 9 of your competitors in you. And they do. They know how to do it. And it works really, really
Okay.
well. And so you know how I got people to engage in that campaign? Is I built a GPT PlayJam prompt that went out and did the Google search. And then I created a dynamic video with the salesperson from that team saying, look behind me in the background. Here's a live version of the Google search that shows it. Now, nothing is worse than sticking it in someone's face and saying, hey, by the way, look behind me. This is, if you go Google yourself right now, here's the 9 other people that are your competitors that people see, and we can
Right.
fix that. And it works. But technically and innovatively, it took some robust API skills to make that happen. That's the kind of stuff where you being geographic, you having your screens in different places, your ability to play on people's emotions, like that's all the kind of next level stuff where it just makes these, like your reply rates are already killer, but a 1% reply rate across 80,000 emails a month, right? Is still significant. That's
Yeah.
800 more interested replies, right?
Right.
Which for you is, could be a big deal, right?
Right.
Even if you close 25% of those, that's tens of thousands of dollars. And so I think part of it is thinking about like, go back to your list for a minute. If you can, the list you had up.
Which one? The map?
Your talk about this. No, the untitled document on the far left.
Untitled document, far left. I'm so sorry. What are we talking about?
Oh, the Google Doc you had up with your things to
Oh,
talk about.
this. Okay. Yeah. This part?
Yeah. So like PandaMatch, Clay, MillionVerifier, BounceBan, easy solution.
I
Easy
need
things to
I need
work
more
through.
Gmail accounts is what I need. I think I might have taken everything off Outscraper and I have enough to do like a two. So I know everybody says do a 3 month TAM. I'm always like super conservative, so I was figuring I'll just do a 4 month TAM, right? Like a 4 month rotation of my TAM. But I've got about 2 months worth of data from Outscraper. I need a little bit more, and that's what I was thinking is PandaMatch, Clay, MillionVerifier, and BounceBan. And I'm assuming PandaMatch has a way to also like get rid of the other ESPs I'm not going to use, right? If I'm only targeting Gmails.
It doesn't, unfortunately. But let's
Okay.
talk about the core idea here, right? So I would tell people too, generally speaking, in the ideal scenario, 90-day is a good cycle. But let's challenge that assumption for a minute. Those are the people that get 2 or 3% reply rates. That is not you. You
Okay.
are 11. You are 11. The screen you just showed me before this was like averaging 11% reply rates.
Yeah.
Okay, which is mind blowing. It's the second best, and I probably have seen at this point 100 different instances of instantly, and it's the second best I've ever seen. The only one I've ever seen is the German guy. Okay, and that's because he just sells something better than you, which is I can send a Google Maps truck out to your business and get you on Google. Right?
Oh, that's
That's the
cool.
only. Yeah, because in the US we take that for granted. Everybody's on Google Maps. Like
Right.
everybody has a visual, but in foreign countries, it's a service that has to be provided, right? So and
Okay.
he's the one that can do it. So like that's why it works, right? But for you, like purely selling, not having to get on the phone, you have a genius business model. And the point I'm trying to make is that let's just your reply rate is 11 or 12%, right? What
Yeah,
about the
we're
88?
we're
What about the,
averaging
yeah,
we're
whatever it
averaging
is.
it's like 11.1, but it should be 12. It's because that other campaign is bringing it down.
Okay. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
okay.
yeah, it's because the Azure campaign is 2.4, and that one sends out the most emails per day.
more reason why to stop that, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, and they're the
So
Azure accounts, and they're just sending to non-Gmail. So if I burn it, I burn it, and I'll just stop wasting time on it. We've gotten some sales out of it, but I hear what you're saying. It's kind of like Pareto's law. Like I need to be focusing on just the Gmails. Like that's where the money's at.
yeah, that's a great way to put it. So, but let's get back to this 12% reply rate. So we're thinking about all the people that did reply. And keep in mind that reply rate is consistent of people that say, I'm out of the office, I'm not interested,
Hmm.
everything else, right? They're not all positive replies, right?
Right. I think it's about 50-50. I could be wrong. It kind of depends on the day. So like if we go into like we're going to one of the campaigns. We're going to mine for the morning. So one interested. Uh, that was four interested in a row. And sometimes it's like that too. And then, it's about 50-50, I think.
So what are we not talking about here? This is a rhetorical question, but I'm trying to get you to think through these things. I'm asking you about the 12%. What are we not talking about?
The 88%.
Exactly. So let me ask you this and just answer this question honestly, because it'll go a long way. How many cold emails have you gotten in your inbox in the last 30 days that you did not engage with that you can even tell me what they said?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't even really look at it. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. You are not different than anybody else in the world, right? Me neither. I do this for a living, and I could not tell you one cold email I got 30 days ago that I did not engage with
Okay.
or reply with, right? So this is where, yes, very conventional wisdom would say, don't send to people at a minimum of 3 months, don't send to them at 6 months. The further out you can get, the better, but it makes zero technical difference.
Okay.
You already send sequences that are more than one email long, right? So
Yes.
you're
Yes.
already
We're
emailing those
two.
people 3 or 4 times, right? Or two. Okay.
Just two. And I was going to talk to you. That's actually on my list of stuff I was going to ask you about. That's our steps. I can give you control of this thing, by the way, if you want.
No, it's okay. I like talking through it better
Okay.
because I've studied it enough where I kind of understand it, but I think it's more of like I'm just speaking tongue in cheek now, more of like the core of what will change your results versus the individual things. But the the idea that 88% of people, and let's just say half of, no, I think that's too high. Let's say out of that 88%, let's just say 10% of them are super diligent email ninjas. And they're like, oh my God, you emailed me 30 days ago. Then so what? What are
Yeah,
they
that's
going to
true.
say back to you? You emailed me 30 days ago. Please don't email me again. Okay, I lost one out of 80,000. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, doing this to the tune of millions for one client, where I have emailed the same people 4 or 5 times over a 6 month period, which averages out to like once every 6 weeks. And these are corporate level all across the board because this client has a huge TAM where we can send a million emails a month. It's almost never like so small, it's almost immeasurable that people come back and go, you emailed me a month ago, don't email me again.
Yeah.
Because people are busy. Like we all treat email as like you and I live and die by it, right? Because it's our business. The average person, or before you got into this business, I highly believe you would check your email on your phone when you got time. If you're sitting at a desk, you might read your email sporadically throughout the day. Some people read them every time they come in because they get notifications, but the average person on a cold email, and only the ones that hit the inbox matter, right? Because those are the only ones that people have the potential to see. The average person just is too busy in life to remember one email out of hundreds they get every day that just so happen to come from you. We
Right.
just care because we're the ones sending it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we overthink it probably a little bit too much.
So if you go back to kind of the assumption around like I only have enough leads in Gmail to cover me for 2 months, that's not a bad problem to have.
Well, I think there's more out there. Like I want to get them. I know Outscraper is not providing me all of the data, right? Like
Yeah.
it's got to be only half of the data, and that means I can I can increase my Texas TAM, and from there, like when we scale into like New York and California, Texas only makes up like 8% of the businesses in the United States. That means we can grow. We can probably 20x this thing in the next couple of years if it takes that long. It really just depends on like how how fast I can put up TVs and scale up all of this other stuff that's stressing me out.
Yeah. No, I think I just I thought about this a lot, and you're such a unique use case with your product and your opportunity. I think the beauty of this is the beauty of you really growing this is around locking down the simplicity and then driving home like the fine details to make your campaigns better. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
Like really diving in on like a couple things I would tell you. Like, and I'm just giving you examples to think about this. Like I would tell you never use quick question. It's the worst freaking subject line ever. That
Oh, it's
every
just
cold
working for us.
No, I know. And but I'm just saying it's working for you, but we could come up with things that would work better,
Okay.
right?
We used to use
Because
Good Morning, and that one worked for us. Or the best one is looking for line of business. So it'd say like looking for plumber, and then the plumbers would open the email.
yeah, and so quick question theoretically works because and I'll show you another one. Like high first name is another one that works really, really well because people have to open the email to see if they know you or not. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because often your email address is not reflective of your name or completely. So it's just a natural human intuition when someone says hi first name to click the email and be like, hey, is that Steve? That you know what I mean? Or like, and it forces them to open the email, right? Quick question though is one of those ones that like all these basic email marketers teach, but it's like I've tested it to oblivion that something I'm just looking at your copy and trying to think of something off the top of my head, but um, you know, something that was specific to Anytime Fitness or to Leon or to the offer would work exponentially better than just quick question, right? So,
Okay.
but this is what I'm talking about, where it's like it's one thing for me to tell you, I want to teach you how to test them, like and constantly be testing. I want to teach you the rigor of the things before you launch a campaign that's 15 or 20 things that you could go through. And after you do it enough, would take you 5 or 10 minutes and will save you from making mistakes that can sink your campaign.
Okay.
Right. Like all of those things that I think really kind of drive because you have the house. Like imagine if we were looking at a house. You have the house is built, the foundation is built, everything is in the house and it's great. The only difference is we need to substitute all the furniture out of the house and we need to substitute all of the things to make it your dream house that has every component of every design you want to.
Okay.
Most people, they never even get to look at a lot in the neighborhood, right? They go in. I just talked to this person this morning who like they're sending 30 emails a day across like 10 campaigns, open rates and links, and they've sent 20,000 emails and gotten one reply.
Eh,
I mean, just it's almost a daily thing, and that is the common instantly user because number one, they don't have a good product to sell, or number two, they get too lost in what is a library of features and training materials and complexities, right? But really, I think the fastest way for you to make more money at the end of the day is locking down Google to Google, number one. Number two, starting to improve the complexity of what underlines the campaign and the genius of the hook and the offer and testing four different offers at the same time, testing four different subject lines at the same time. So you're
Okay.
letting data drive your decisions, not what you think is the right thing to do. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Because it's
Yeah.
very easy for you to get caught up in the success. And I'm just being transparent with you. Like, it's really easy to go, like, I'm doing great. I'm making money. There's no reason for me to be better. I might as well go try these new domains. Like, get lost in the gadgets versus the fundamentals. And I'm telling you, let me show you something. I'm going to give you like real time examples. So, and I'm teaching you part of it. I'm teaching you what I'm learning too. So like I'm
Okay.
on this journey with you, right? But like this is a client that does video production.
Are those all
It's not,
campaigns?
yeah, these are all campaigns, right?
Oh my God.
So this is them, all of this CO3, these bottom four, this is all them before they, and new crew before they hired us. And then we run our campaigns for them in sequences. So one A, B, C, D, right? Four campaigns. And you notice like all one and even two, we started off pretty good, right? We get to three, we start falling off. See like the 1, 5, 5, 7. We get to four, and it's just abysmal, right? Like one interested reply. We get to five, and it's almost a freaking nightmare. Like, fire us, we're not doing our job.
Right.
Okay. This is cold email. Like, this is a textbook definition of cold email. So my team's running this campaign, and I tell my team, I'm like, this is what we're going to do for six. I'm going to run one campaign, and you guys are going to run the other two. Okay.
Okay.
You see what's happening right now at the moment?
You've got
Or the
four active. Yeah, one's doing really well.
this
Experiment
is
one.
me, the
Okay.
experiment one. This is them. Okay. Night
Wow.
and day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Second example. This is from this morning. Different client. Okay. First campaign, 6 day long, right? Not one interested reply. Okay. This is as of this morning. So this actually is kind of confusing because this is leads, but if let me see what's the screen I can show you. This is actually better. So full send, 6 days, about 5,500 leads. Today, here's a couple things to notice. Number one, the replies from these two campaigns today, thank you, are higher, are getting to be the point where they're going to be higher than what we got out of 6 days. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Number two, they haven't even tagged some of the interested opportunities because the client does the tagging here, but there's two interested opportunities already in here in one campaign. So in one day, 1,000 leads, we've got two opportunities here that we got zero in 6 days of sending across four campaigns, right? So how we're seeing this, because if you ever want to figure out reply rates, just so you know, if you've got two steps in the sequence, you can take this number and multiply it times two, and that's going to be your reply rate. If you have three steps, your reply will be, because it accumulates. I'm sure you
Okay.
understand that.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
like,
so you're. Oh, yeah. So you're day by day, you can double it. You mean like if you're looking at the metrics on a daily basis?
yeah, it's whatever number you're at times how many steps you have is
Even if
what
it's
you,
like I'm looking at an entire month at once.
let me rephrase this, however many steps you have left, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
like this
Okay.
this campaign has 3 steps. We've only sent step one.
Got it.
So this campaign should hit somewhere around 5.1% reply rate.
And
This
it'll
one should
keep
hit,
going up because you'll still get replies whether it's a week later, 2 weeks later, right? That will still continually raise it.
yeah, even over time, it'll slowly, obviously won't be as big as when you're running the
Yeah, it'll
campaign, but
taper
it
off
will,
eventually.
yeah, it will raise. So that's that, right? But the point is like it takes, and even on the biggest one we run, it takes constant iteration, like we're doing here, every single campaign we run to avoid plateaus. Because if you don't constantly iterate, you're gonna be at this great flat line, and then the sky is gonna fall. And I'm gonna show you it happened in this campaign. but this is a 6-month campaign where we're going to hit 5 million emails in the next few weeks.
Wow.
And the week 17, 110, and these are interested replies, 110, 107, 70, and then week 17 down to 22 for 300, close to 300,000 emails, 94,000.
Holy cow.
Okay. 22 replies. Out of 300 emails, almost 300,000 emails, 290,000.
Why? How did it plateau? Or did it drop
Because
off like that?
because because copy gets fingerprinted, and no matter
Yeah.
what you do, copy will get fingerprinted. Quick question will get fingerprinted.
Okay.
Your signature is going to get fingerprinted. At some point, no matter how many emails you send, fingerprinting will take over because the models are that good. And so you'll ride high if you keep doing the same thing for the next few months, and then the sky will fall. And if you're not prepared for it, this is what will happen. I'll give you
Okay.
another example, and I have multiple. So different client, December 43, late December 31, January 20, all of February 9. Just, and you see it's directly correlated to the reply rate, right? Like it just keeps dropping and dropping, right?
Right.
And so we're constantly now, right now, if I had shown you this last week, it would have been 0, and the reply rate would have been 0.2%. And this is a guy we've run campaigns for 6-7 months, and everything works great, and then the sky just falls, and it's just because the tech is getting better of reading every single email you sent. Another example, and like week 1, 50 replies across the 4 campaigns. Week 2, 25. Week 3, 0. Week 4, we got a few back. Week 5, we got a few back. Week
How do you
6,
fix it? You have to just go get all new email addresses?
it's iterating constantly. Now TAM matters. This client's a little tricky because they have a very, very small TAM, but it doesn't matter who you are, what campaign you run. Like I just show you over and over again, it happens with everybody, and it's going to happen to you. And the steps you take today to set yourself up for not happening or preventing it from ever happening in the first place is what's going to make all the difference in the world. And that's
Okay.
not that's not me telling you hire me to run these campaigns. That's just saying like you are far enough advanced where you know how to make money. Let's focus on the fundamentals of keeping you making money and expanding you making money and not having to run into this happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me stop sharing. So I want to talk. Well, let me pause because that's a lot to digest. So I want to make sure you're where
Yeah.
you're at.
No, I understand it. Google's algorithm is, they invest billions of dollars into their search engine and their email and their spam traps or whatever it is. And, they're going to eventually fingerprint something I do, whether it's the subject line or my signatures. And so I can probably combat that, I would imagine, through changing signatures on maybe a bi-weekly basis, subject lines, testing out, instead of having one variant, maybe have like 8 variants, because I could make like multiple variants of the same template, and just run all 8 of them, because they do, like, when we have tested multiple variants against each other. They all kind of work the same, to be honest. Like, they're all good because it's just an ad on a TV for 300-400 bucks, so it works. um and then, constantly adding new email addresses into the pool, right? Like, that would be my, like, best guess of, like, how to kind of combat that, like the plateauing and the potential skyfall.
Yes, and I
uh
think building out like the ability to stick to the theme of the messaging, but then having so like here's a concept I want you to understand. Have you ever heard of what's called computer vision?
no.
So from like GPT, it can create images, right?
Hmm.
And it does all that with words, number, like in a very basic sense, like you type in words, it says, go create this cool picture of this panda, right? And these models are smart enough to translate that in the basic way I can explain it, to ones to zeros that then understands, imaging codes and all of that stuff that then creates that image, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the least scientific way I can explain it, right? So now imagine that kind of tech being pointed at your email, right? So imagine if there was this thing that took a picture of this screen, and no matter how many times you hit preview right now, the words might be different, but isn't it going to look exactly the same?
Yeah.
That's what you're up against.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's going to keep getting better and better too. So, um, I guess it's
So how do you
always
combat that? How do you combat that, right? That's the most important thing, right? It's you build prompts in Clay that stick to the general theme of your message, but that are smart enough to write. So let me show you. I mean, it's much easier to show you than tell
okay.
you,
So
but
you have Clay essentially writing you new copy like on a regular basis.
every single lead 100% uniquely.
Oh, okay. Wow. Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, but that's why you're talking to me, and
Yeah.
not some rando on the street, right? All right, so I'm gonna just go through a few.
Okay.
So
Where's it at? How do I
am I?
it's
Let me reshare.
okay. Do I need to stop sharing? Is that what I need to do?
Maybe. Or even in Zoom, there might be like two windows up.
Um I stopped my share. I don't see it though. I saw it earlier when you had it open. Oh, there it is, Josh. No, Josh.
Oh, yeah. I turned it off so I can share one more time. Let me know. It
There
should
it is.
pop up.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Watch this.
Oh, holy cow.
That one's blank. You see the things like double dash, colon, exclamation marks, question marks. This one, percentage. All this copy is selling the exact same thing. It's all professional. It all speaks to the key points that I want it to. It all references the company. And yet it's uniquely different every single time.
How do you get it to not sound like AI though?
A lot of experience in how to prompt this stuff.
Yeah. Could I not write like 30 of my own and randomize them? Would that not like offset like a large amount of it?
Some of this is
See, you're using first line too, right? Like that's like a first line, like a writer, or did the AI do that?
no, that the whole thing is written by you.
Okay.
That's why, like you see in this one, solid line media is referenced in the third paragraph. Like their name is not even mentioned in this one. This one has no outro. This one says talk soon. You see, and these are all different companies, right? So it's speaking to the company as well, right? Like in Streamly. So it's highly personalized too. Like it's speaking, they have over 150,000 streamers, blah, blah, blah. But this is where you're going to want to get to because this will never get fingerprinted. Number
Okay.
one, it's highly relevant, and there's some personalizations in there. But more importantly, it's like everything is about economies of scale. And so when you can send out, in this case for this campaign, that's this campaign. I'll show you. Are you seeing instantly?
Yep.
Make
Yep.
sure.
I got you.
That's this campaign right here that we just launched today, where we've only sent the first 2,000 emails. When you can send out that much uniqueness, then the only problem you have with getting opportunities is what are you saying? Does that make sense? It's not
Yes.
about the technical component of it. It's about what are you saying? So, like in your case, like you're probably going to be fine for a while because you're getting a whole bunch of replies, right? But what's to say you couldn't get more replies and never worry about deliverability because you're Google to Google all the time, which is the ultimate trust factor, which is, of course, Google is going to trust shit coming from their own shit, anything more than anything else, right?
Yep.
Google to Google. Number two, You have a high reply rate. So that creates a big trust factor for you. Number three, your copy, mathematically, those variations of copy I showed you are in the billions of combination. Because if you think about how Spintax works, every word in a Spintax can be changed.
Yeah, it's three times three times three times three times
Yeah,
three,
exactly.
or
Exactly. So now imagine it being, if let's just say there's 100 words,
yeah,
one, you see what I mean? Like
yeah,
one times two times three. It's almost infinite. I've never done the math, but it's
yeah. It
ridiculously
is. It's
high.
close to infinite. It's like in the trillions,
Yeah.
probably.
And so, and then the third part of that is the personalization, right? So it's no longer hi Steve at company name. It's there's clearly personalization that mimics human behavior. And then the fourth and final piece, which is what's really, I think, starting to make a difference for us, is the aspect that, and I'm going to show you this prompt so you kind of see what it does. Uh,
I've really got to get into Clay and start learning this. I know your brother's been
and
helping Paul.
he asked about.
Yeah, yeah. Paul's been. I talked to Paul a lot.
Yeah, Paul kind of in the same boat as you, and Jacob's just been meeting with him and consulting him on the clay stuff, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
like, in the realm of how things work, like, I kind of have both. I have the whole picture, and Jacob's my clay guy, and he has two actually clay. Oh, shit, this is down, so it's kind of
Who
hard
would
to
I?
show.
Who would I want? Would I? You or your brother to train me on a Clay? Who would do that?
It's a great question. I mean, you want Jacob if you want to learn all the technical sides of this. You want me if you want the perspectives like you got today.
The big
Like,
picture.
yeah, Jacob's not going to tell you not to do something in clay. I'm going to tell you don't do it in clay because this is the pure ramification of doing
Okay.
this, not doing that, right?
I do need to learn. I need to learn Clay and PandaMatch. I want to get the rest of my TAM. I want to get at least the rest of the Gmail so I know if okay. So if I decide I'm gonna rotate my TAM every 90 days, I want to know exactly how many Gmail accounts I do have in the state of Texas so I can figure out exactly how many I can send per day. And then from there, I'm going into California and I'm going to take over California. I can put up TVs so fast. I could cover California in TVs in 90 days, and then I would be doubling my TAM in 90 days. And so
Mhm.
I do want to figure out how to get all of the Gmail accounts. And unless there's somewhere else I can get Gmail accounts that's similar to Outscraper, I've looked at everything. Like Apollo, from everything, Apollo does not like. I don't like their data at all. I don't know if
No, and it's not really built for Gmail. It's not really built for your audience. Apollo is built for like mid-sized corporate audiences, right?
okay.
I would tell you the one thing that I would say we would look at if we were going to try to get stuff that Outscraper doesn't have, and we'd have to test it, is literally calling Google Maps ourselves. So
Oh,
let me show you what I'm talking about.
you're like your own API and like doing it on your own.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's surprisingly easy.
Okay.
So this is called Serper, and it gives you the ability to call all kinds of Google related APIs. So images, videos, places, maps, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But it's surprisingly easy because I can come in here and say, um, now it's a little tricky because like you have to go, like I have to write the code basically to give you the longitude and latitude of the area that you want to search. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But essentially you can query it, and I think I want to actually do it. So let's just, it's funny. It picked New York, right? So, I think, let me just check it real
You'll
quick.
want to zoom in there because the population density. You want to be like, or you'll end up getting a huge query.
Yeah. And let's just pick here. It seems nice. So I think I can do it. Let me just double check server. It's uh after the Z. Does it include the period? Yeah. No, it doesn't. Okay. So if I grab, this right here. Should work. And then, so let's just say dentist. This pulls everything that's on their Google Maps profile, if that makes sense. So this is calling it directly. So this just, for example, is really easy to pull this into a clay table. So that's one option. And this is ridiculously cheap.
Cheaper than
But
Outscraper.
oh yeah. And then the next thing you can do is, well, let me go into clay. Do you have clay yet?
Yeah, yeah. Last month when we talked, we got the
You went and got
300.
it? Okay.
Yeah, the
So this is
350
something
one.
you can go, this is something you can go play with right now. This is super easy. I'll create a blank table, and then it's actually easier to do this before you create a blank table. To say new table, and then find local businesses using Google Maps.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Okay.
And then here's the trick. If you don't need to use Google's preferred API, that's how they can charge you click credits. But let's just do the same thing we just did, dentist. And then we zoom out. I guess I don't know why I picked something else, but I'm gonna fix that. Actually, I don't need to put a location. Let's put New York. That's what I was putting in the wrong box. Now let's do New York City. Let's zoom down, for example. Let's type in dentist. And then I think you are limited to 200 to start if you don't use the premium one. But even like a free, I don't know if there's 200 dentists in that area, but it's going to pull down what I just did is going to pull down that all that information.
Oh wow. And then do you enrich it to get the email addresses?
Yeah, you enrich it to get the email addresses,
What do you
right?
guys
So
enrich it with? Like Prospeo? Like that's the one I keep seeing in YouTube videos is Prospeo, or do
yeah,
you
yeah, I use Prospeo, and then the other one that's really really affordable is ICPs. So if you
ICP?
just say yeah, Prospeo, and then this is other stuff I can teach you. Like you want to have your own API key with them versus paying Clay credits for it.
Yeah.
So I can show you how to set that up. But and then I also use a lot ICPs, which ICPs the reason why, and this will blow you away too. Again with my API key, but if you go into ICPs,
Oh, ICPs. Okay, like ICP.
yeah, it's a weird.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a weird
yeah.
name. But look at their pricing. I want to show you their pricing. So they're it's $250. I think it's like 267 because it's euro. But you pay in obviously for 100,000 emails.
Whoa, yeah, that's good.
It's ridiculously cheap, and it's easy to set it up in a clay table. So like I use Prospeo and ICPs, mainly Prospeo because honestly the founder reached out to me and he's like, I'll give you 50,000 credits a month if you use my product and talk about it once in a while on LinkedIn. So that's why I do it. But I like it. I would use something else if I thought it was better. But I also use ICPs a lot because
Okay.
it's just cheap. Like I think we have like 400,000 credits at this point. And so its match rate is a little bit lower than Prospeo, but and that actually the best match one is Find Email, but it's also one of the most expensive. So what I do is I run Prospeo, then ICPs back to back, and if neither one of them find it, then I give up.
And then what do I
And
do once the data is all put into instantly? I just delete everything that's on a Gmail, pretty much.
that's not a Gmail. So we build, and this is kind of like why clay table is important, is I show you how to build an ESP matcher. And
Oh, so
again,
you
it's an
can.
API.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you could do that
Yeah.
again.
So when you do, there's an API that we can run, and we've already built it, and it's called Bison. and it just all it does is it takes the email that you have and it runs it through this API check and it tells you if it's Google or Outlook or anything else.
Okay.
It's free, which is awesome. Then you just exclude those. You don't send those instantly, and then you don't have to worry about it in the first place.
Okay.
So this is probably the stuff we need to work on,
Yeah,
right?
that's where I need more. I want more Gmails just so I'm not like stressed out about like, am I going to run out of email addresses? And then I need organization too to figure out when is it time to rotate certain leads and not rotate them. I'm not doing my campaigns week by week like you have because I just haven't had the time. My wife and I, like, we're doing IVF right now, so that we're in like a lot of doctor's appointments and then trying to do this too. I've been struggling with that at the time.
It's okay. I've been there. I mean, all my three of my five are adopted, so for the same
Okay,
reason. So I feel your pain. I went through it all. It didn't work out for us, but I'm glad. I really hope it does for you.
thank
That's
you.
super important. And
We
it's a
both have
battle
a kid. I've got
mentally.
yeah, it's not fun. It's been she we have a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old, but they're both from, my daughter was from a previous relationship and her son is from a previous relationship. So we've been together 10 years and don't have one together.
Well, if it was meant to happen, it will happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's how
we'll
we
hope
are.
it. Yeah, it's like you're doing everything right, and that's all you can do, right?
Yeah,
So, well, here's what I would recommend. Like you did with the document in the beginning, and I know we didn't get to any of that, but I want to sleep well at night, giving you what I think is your best direction.
okay.
There's a couple ways we can go. Like, if you think you want to focus on clay, then I'll have Jacob reach out to you if that's the important. I would recommend to you like
I'm
when you
okay
have
doing two a
time.
week, like you were saying, like doing two a week or three, and I can jump on like once a week with you and once a week with Jacob and just use Jacob for like clay setup. I really do want to learn clay. It seemed, I don't know why, I like the idea of learning it, but then there's other stuff too. Eventually, I want to learn, which I want to learn how to scrape Facebook eventually. Like our best leads we've ever had came out of Facebook groups, and I've got to figure out how to scrape these groups. It's a pain in the butt, but like the members in the business groups have just like the Instantly group. If you go to the members and you look through them, some of them are actual business pages and they have email addresses on them, and those are like really good leads. We used to like hand pick them and send emails, and they're good. I just don't know how to do it. I got to figure out how to scrape those.
Yeah, and I think the bigger choice for you is like, do you want to keep pursuing this from a consultation perspective? I would tell you like the client that we do 2 sessions a week on, we charge him $2,500 a month. He gets his 2 week, who he gets his 2 hours. For him, it's one with him and then one with his team, if that makes
Okay.
sense. But that is accountability for you because now you're paying every month
Monthly.
for this time, right? And I'm going to be there. Jacob's going to be there every time, and we're going to be we're going to operate on whatever agenda you give us, right? Like we can figure out the logistics of which calls I go to and which he shows up to, but that's a bigger commitment for you. But it's also going to be like you're going to be learning a lot, and then are you going to be ready to take action?
Yeah, that's trying to find the time is the yeah, that's the tricky part for sure. That's something my wife and I probably got to talk about. Another thing that I was kind of thinking was like over the next couple of months as we as we continue to like build this thing out is streamlining it and setting it up like as we do consultations with you, setting it up the way you would want it to be set up. That way when you take it over, there's no like downtime because I don't think we can afford the downtime. You know what I mean? At least not right
Yeah.
now. We can't. Because every day we have constant revenue coming in, and we're used to having money coming in daily. So having it down for a couple of weeks would probably hurt us quite a bit.
Well, that is the one thing I would tell you that if you need to worry about anything, it's if the impending doom is going to come. It doesn't mean it's not recoverable, right?
Yeah.
That's a good thing. But just keeping that in mind. So you tell me when you're ready. We're ready to get serious when you are, as far as like you want to do 2 calls, you want to do 3 calls a week. We're ready when you are. And we just keep like, it's the same, we just charge it the same way that we charge it now, right? We just do it on a monthly basis. And that way you're more accountable because you're like, man, I'm paying for 8 calls. I need to make my 8 calls. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, let me talk to the wife, see if that's the thing is like you said, like I gotta have the time to implement it. And I have a feeling I think with Clay is gonna Clay's going to take us a little while to really, for me to really learn it the right way. Because I want to learn the waterfalls. I want to learn APIs. I want to learn all the enrichments the right way. I want Gmail there is, and then I need to do it nationwide and organize all of this data. And that's like, it's so, even thinking about it kind of gives me a headache because I know how much work it all is. There's just so much data out there. I don't know how you manage millions of records. Like, are you managing them all just in Clay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
insane.
manage, I manage all of ours here in this one environment under clients, but then I also manage all these others as well.
Dude, that is crazy.
But it's going to be like the first time you logged into Outscraper compared to probably how easy it is for you now. It's the
Yeah.
same concept. When you do something
Outscraper
enough,
gets, or I was gonna say, instantly gets kind of wonky sometimes. Like it has like a
it
bunch of
does.
little like weird errors and stuff. It's the weird.
Typical big SaaS trying to do too much. It's not uncommon. But
Let me let me ask you this real quick. I know we're over time. We need a CRM and a dialer for this because we get a lot of phone calls and we want to kind of connect them to the leads. Do you recommend instantly CRM and dialer in texting solutions? Are they? What do you think? Should I start like looking into those?
I've never used the texting. So that's the only one I'm looking through. The CRM is pretty basic.
Oh my goodness, my
You
phone
know,
is at 1%. Babe, I need a charger. I'm at 1%. I do not want to die. Holy cow.
uh, yeah, CRM is pretty basic. So it's really, it's HubSpot and Salesforce are too big for this kind of thing. If I wasn't going to use instantly, I'd use Close, but we just don't do any. I don't use any of the dialing stuff, so I would be
Okay.
giving you and but it's instantly is nice because it's built in. It's pretty simple. It doesn't do too much, and it kind of keeps track of everything along with your emails. So I think if I was going to do it, I'd experiment with that first before I
Okay.
try to go bigger because the bigger you go, the more you're going to pay. And then you got to worry about transmitting data from instantly to there.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna start with that. What about the website visitors? Should I upgrade that? What do I do with those? The people who are like visiting my website, should I just call them?
You can,
Yeah, because I got a
or you
phone
can,
team. That's good.
yeah, well, absolutely then. Yeah, you're going to
Okay.
have to get their phone numbers because that doesn't always come over. It comes over sometimes. But
Okay.
yeah, if you have a sales team, then have them call because that means someone's seeing your website, they've taken an extra step, right? And if you can call them and you have people that do it, it's absolutely worth it.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna get in there today and start messing around with that, all of that. Then the CRM, the dialer, because that was on my list, was the CRM, dialer, phone, text, and then like my sales guys, a lot of like the email salespeople we have don't make calls, so they push them to my two sales guys that do make calls, and they've been just like manually typing them into a spreadsheet, and like it's taking too much time because there's like hundreds of leads that we almost closed that we need to push to him because then he calls them and he's closing a lot of them on the phone after we don't get them on email.
Yeah, I would, those are warmer leads. Absolutely. I would.
Okay. Um. Okay. Let me talk to the wife. I think going twice a week is probably a good idea for us. Let me talk to the wife today, and we have doctor's appointments coming up next week and the week after. But I'm gonna book with you next week for sure, and probably with Jacob also for sure. So I'll go into the calendar today or tomorrow and book at least the first one like Monday or Tuesday, and
Yep.
then um and then
We'll
I
take
guess we
it
can
from
just
there.
huh.
We'll take it from there.
Yeah, we'll go from there. I have so much stuff that my brain's overloaded right now.
Yeah, let me give you one piece of advice from someone in your boat. Don't kill yourself, man.
Okay.
I'm just telling
Yes.
you, I'm just like you. I work 17, 18 hours a day. At some
Oh yeah.
point, you can't handle it. So just try to be intentional. That's all I'm saying. I know
Dude, I
it's
got
just,
I got burned out a couple weeks ago. I suffered pretty bad burnout, so I went and sat on my sales floor and I just cold called for like 3 straight days, and just I didn't
yeah.
even look at my emails. I didn't even look at instantly like the salespeople were doing the sales, and I just sat out with my team and I cold called for a couple days.
Yeah, it's that nagging pull of potential money that's always going to be there and it's never going to change. And so it's just like, trust me from someone who's been doing it for a year and a half nonstop, like you still have to take care of yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially, the things that are more important than life than making money, right?
Yeah, yeah, wife and kids.
Exactly. Hang in there. Holler. I'll look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, talk soon. Thank you, Josh.
See you, brother. Bye.
Bye.